Everybody, Andy here again. Well, today is Wednesday the 30th of November, the last day of November, and I did it. Yes, you might be thinking, what on earth is he talking about? Well, back on the 2nd of November, I actually posted a blog post called, I think it's What Are You Doing This November? Because November seems to be that month when people do lots of quite strange things. You might have seen lots of people sporting moustaches or small beards for what they call Movember, which is one of those charities, a charity event for people to grow facial hair, which I believe started in Australia. The idea is that you raise money for men's health. Very good. So people do that during November. Without wishing to go through that over that blog post, and I'll put a link to my actual blog down below. Is people writing novels and people doing podcasts every day of the month, and it seems to be November that does this. And I wrote this particular blog post and it struck me. I thought, I know what I could do. I could try and do something like that myself. I didn't for one moment expect that I would continue it, because my challenge to myself was to put one piece of content up, whether it be a video, whether it be a blog post itself, a written blog post, or maybe an audio boo, or even a blog for a private forum or something like that I might be involved with. I'd already done one on the 1st of November, in case you're wondering, and I managed to do it. I didn't expect to do it. I actually put a little caveat in the video and in the blog post that I made, saying, I reserve the right not to actually do this, because I honestly didn't think that I would manage to do it. But I've got a couple of figures down here. This is the 8th video that I've made during that particular time. Yes, I know there are times where I've made more than one video at one particular time. I've written 10 blog posts and I've done 12 audio boos, making a grand total of 30. Now, I've put those out one every day, but what has surprised me is that I could have done a lot more than that. I've got, as you can see, I've got some notes here, and I've got bits and pieces. You've got things that scribbled out, but not everything's been scribbled out. I've got other, stuff all over the place, as I usually have. The idea of ideas is never a problem, and that, although I've had this before, and I've often thought, yes, I could do something every day if I wanted to, actually challenging yourself to do it. It doesn't do you any harm for one point, but it actually makes you realise just how many little ideas or whatever you've actually got there. And I've purposely challenged myself in some ways by doing slightly different topics than I would normally do in my blogs and things. I tended to steer away from politics, but I've done one video about Iran and the bomb, something which is coming back to the fore now. I haven't seen what's happened in Iran yesterday in the British embassies and things like that as a consequence of our way that we're looking at Iran. I've done a blog post about depression and about the death of Gary Speed, which I wrote a couple of days ago now. Something that I was a bit wary about putting up, but I thought, no, I'm going to do this. It's something I felt I wanted to talk about for various reasons. And I also did an American political blog about Herman Cain. If you don't know who he is, he's a Republican candidate over there in America. I think it was called something like Vote for Me. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I was a bit wary of sort of wading into American politics. So doing that type of thing, it was a bit different, but I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I've still got one video which I've got sitting around, which I've recorded, which I haven't put up. I could quite easily have put up more than one piece of content on each specific day, but I thought, no, I'm only going to do one per day. So the actual covering those 30 days has been no problem whatsoever. So I might, thinking about this, I might actually continue this. Once again, I reserve the right not to post anything on any particular day, but because I've enjoyed what I'm doing. It's been challenging, but especially the writing. It's got me back into doing videos, which is one thing, because that's one of the points, is that over the past few months, should we say, I've been busy doing other things, haven't we all? And I haven't done so many blog posts. I haven't done so many audio boos or videos. But this has got me back into doing it, and sort of, as I said, doing something every particular day. It gets you into a little bit of a routine. It makes you think about these things, hence all those notes and everything. It makes you jot down things or think about things that normally you just don't bother. I mean, and maybe that's the difference between someone who does vlogs and blogs and things like that and the ordinary person, in inverted commas, on the street. We're the people that put the stuff out there. I often read magazine articles. You see columns in newspapers or even on the TV, the little talking head pieces or something, which is effectively what this is. And you think, well, why on earth did they start talking about that? Something to do with their shopping, but some little thing that happened in their day. But when you do a little challenge like that, you find that you can actually talk about things like that. You think of a little event, something that's slightly different that happened in your day, a conversation, a topic on the news or something like that. And you start to think about it because of what you're doing here. And it sets you off on a little ramble, which sets you off on a chain of thoughts. So I'm going to carry on because I've enjoyed this, especially, as I said, the writing side. It's got me back into the writing side of things. And I found one consequence is that I found that I type a lot quicker and write a lot quicker than I used to. I'm even thinking about trying to compile a little ebook of all of the blog posts that I've been doing since way back in 2009, I believe it is, I first started. Obviously the quality or the content or the amount of content goes up and down. So that's one of those things. I'm very glad I've done this challenge. I've got to the 30th of November. I've managed to do it. If you've been growing a moustache, doing podcasts or writing your own novel throughout the month and you've managed to do it, well done to you. It's a personal challenge for you. I know it doesn't take much to grow a moustache, but at least you're doing it for the right reasons, aren't you? But if you've done those podcasts, you've done that own little challenge, well done to you. And it might inspire, it might have got people into doing that type of thing who might never have done it before. A couple of things I would say, as I've said, all of the posts that I've been putting up, I've been putting onto my blog, and as I said, I'll put a link to that down below. So there's the 30 days worth of content there, and obviously all the rest going back. It's quite a good place to group it all together. And the fact that I've done 3 different types, it's not just a blog, it's not just a podcast, it's just not a video every day. And I've done things like that before because it's a mix. It's quite good to do those sort of slightly different disciplines. I know they're all connected in some ways, but a couple of people I want to mention actually, Ken RG and Dougal West, who've commented on just about every single post that I've put up over this past month. Thanks guys for being there, for sticking around and for supporting me and giving me words of encouragement as well. I've even inspired Dougal to start writing, and he's even done a poem about one of the subjects that I talked about. And that's one of the things about this, isn't it? It's a great personal challenge for yourself, personal discipline or whatever, to start doing something or to try doing some writing again. But when people actually appreciate what you do and put comments up there and say that you've inspired them in some way, or it's got them thinking or something like that, that's a good thing. It makes it all worthwhile and maybe gives you the courage or the inspiration to carry on doing it. As I said, I don't know how long this will last, who knows, but who cares, it doesn't matter. It's personal to me, but I just hope that someone else gets a little bit out of it as well. Anyway, I'll leave it there and I'll probably see you tomorrow. Goodbye.